Hurry, 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 the new plant is coming! The PvZ 2 update came out at the beginning of the week and I tried to make a review on this plant as soon as possible. I hope you like it and you will not regret to like, and maybe even subscribe to the channel. Now let's put the rush aside and start sorting things out in order. This plant costs 100 suns. At the start of the level its growth lasts only 3 seconds, but then the maturation time of all following saplings increases up to 15 seconds. All of this of course at the first level. In general, as soon as I started studying Sundew Tangler, I didn't like it at all and thought that it was a new candidate for my top of unloved plants, which I still can't film. However, then as I studied this character, I partially changed my opinion. Why didn't I like it at first? Because I was testing a new plant on Gargantua as usual. I planted Sundew Tangler and waited to see how it would beat up the big guy. Gag came over, but nothing happened. Sundew Tangler did nothing, but most importantly, Gargantua ignored it too. I even thought that this is some kind of wild thing, or maybe I'm confused, maybe there was no release and I'm testing an unfinished plant. Actually, I didn't get anything mixed up, it's just that this is the main theme of Sundew Tangler. It turns out it's almost immortal, but more on that later. First, about the mechanics of this plant. Its point is that you catch a zombie stepping on it with its tentacles, which makes it very similar to seaweed, but on land. While trapped, the zombie takes 26 damage every 2 seconds, and after 8 seconds Sundew Tangler will give us a sunshine, which reminds us of Toadstool. The trap works for a total of 12 seconds and during this time the zombie takes 156 damage. After Sundew Tangler releases the zombie, it flickers for a while and can't attack again during this time. As soon as the flickering ends, it's ready to repeat its attack. This is basically the whole mechanics of this plant's attack, a hybrid of Toadstool and seaweed. Next, I wanted to demonstrate the effect of increasing levels of Sundew Tangler, namely I was interested in generating several suns from a single zombie. This required level 2 planting a zombie capable of withstanding a due attack. But what was my surprise when both zombies of different durability died at the same time. So it turns out that Sundew Tangler ignores the armor of enemies and takes away just the vitality. This is a very big advantage of the plant. I've tested this in completely different types of armor, from headgear to newspaper and iron plate on the body of a Wild West zombie. Nothing protects the dead from having the life sucked out of them. So I wondered, what about the machines? Maybe they don't protect their drivers from Sundew Tangler tentacles? Unfortunately, here I have to point out a big disadvantage of the plant. Dew simply ignores scars, just like Gargantua at the beginning of the video. A small spoonful of honey in the barrel of the star is the fact that make a footballer can push the dew and walks past it like everyone else. Besides Skulls, it turned out that flying representatives of the dead diaspora are not susceptible to Sundew Tangler's attack either. Even the notorious Dodo managed to fly over our today's character, which of course again tilts the scales not in favor of Dew. Because of the suddenly discovered skill of killing zombies by ignoring armor, I've strayed away from the topic of level growth. Now I'll come back to it. Despite the fact that the newspaper man is also a zombie with armor, he can't be killed by the Sundew Tangler at level 2, and so we can see a second sun being thrown out. The suns are generated every 8 seconds at level 1, 7 seconds at level 2, and as we level up, the energy generation interval is reduced to 4 seconds at level 10. It also increases damage, trap time and decreases recharge time in the deck. Dew has no durability as a class, so it's basically impossible to kill. Even veteran Bully ignores it and doesn't hit it with a cobblestone, but Sundew Tangler itself is happy to grab the big guy. At level 10, every 2 seconds Dew takes 120 damage from a zombie and holds him in its tentacles for 30 seconds. Brickhead takes 3-4 seconds, but Bully still survives, even though he took a lot of damage. He is now 1800 HP away, and with its second attack, the level 10 Dew can kill even this tough zombie. In general, I like the growth of characteristics as you pound this plant. There's definitely a sense in it, just don't forget that the plant itself is not purely attacking. What I really didn't like about Dew though was the ult. At first glance you may not even realize the catch. It seems that the damage of super attack is higher, 60 instead of 26 HP, attacking 2 zombies at once instead of 1, but everything ruins the time of this attack. Its duration is only 4 seconds, during which Sundew Tangler deals 2 blows, totaling 120 HP, that is even less than the usual attack. It's true that the interval of sunburst is reduced to only 2 seconds, which is not bad, but again, for 4 seconds of ult is a bad advantage, and the duration of the ult doesn't grow as the levels of the plant increases. All in all, it's a race, not a super attack. The only thing I like about the ult is that the number of targets increases to 6 at max level, but the damage is still not the most powerful. If the duration also increased, it would be better, but so, super attack in my opinion is the weak point of this plant. Moving on to the effect of mint, the first thing to note is the increase in damage. At the first level to 26 HP of damage is added 18 more, and further on increasing from level to level, the maximum increase is 80 units per hit. But I'd like to focus on the increased damage of the fat plant when mint is acting on it. This is where the ult becomes more like an ult, not some defective crap. Even at the first level, a mint enhanced plant can kill newspaper man in a matter of seconds with a single feat. To fully appreciate the power of mint enhanced Deuce ult, take a look at how easily it kills veteran bullies now. A minute ago it couldn't kill simple bullies with 2 feats, but with mint it kills veterans in a couple seconds. I was immediately struck by this terrible jump in the numbers of the increase in power of the ult under the influence of mint. Again, the developers went a little overboard. In general, this is the end of the main part devoted to the characteristics and mechanics of the plant, but I always had some important points at the end of the review, concerning the behavior of the reviewed plant in this or that situation. I said earlier that the main thing of Dew is its resistance to almost all zombie attacks. To be honest, I would even say to all of them. I never managed to find a way to kill it. All stuck and tram it and just runs past it. Same goes for the Wild West veteran bull, and he can still notice the plant. It can be understood by the fact that the rider's throw is triggered when the bull reaches you, but he doesn't kill the plant with his horns. The fact that the bullet doesn't hit the Sundew Tangler we have already seen earlier in this review, but I decided to see what if there is another plant on the Dew, why not for example pumpkin. In this case the bullet hits the cage with a tandem of plants, but only armored pumpkin disappears. The Dew remains and does its job as if nothing had happened. I tried to burn it with the laser from that old man's skull too, but he just refused to even load his weapon in front of Sundew Tangler. Here I did the same thing as with Bully. I decided to provoke the old man with the pumpkin. He instantly raised his skull to the sun, shot, but even this had no effect on the well-being of the reviewing plant. How about a bunch of lasers? Knowing the squinty-eyed imps controlling the robogogs, I summoned a whole bunch of them and planted an entire plantation of Dews in front of them. The robots seemed to hit some of the plants, but their laser cannons were powerless as well. Next I went to the beach to see if the Sundew Tangler would land on a lily pad or maybe even on the water, but it turned out to be something more interesting. For some reason the fisherman can't get a hook on the Dew. That is, it turns out that it has the same skill as Broccoli, but why would it be rewarded with it? By the way, it lands on a lily pad, but lilies are a separate mess right now, so I'm not even going to comment it. When it comes to hard to reach places, Dew also sits on boards and pirate seas without any problems, but as you may have guessed, that's not what I wanted to test here. I was interested in parrots, and these feathered companions also do not react to Sundew Tangler, so what's it? It's hard to freeze it. Hunter, like the old man with the skull, just doesn't notice it. He starts throwing snowballs only if he is provoked like the old man with the pumpkin. But now Dew isn't cosplaying Broccoli, now it's showing the skills of a fire plant that can be frozen. By the way, pay attention to the weasel woman and the chicken farmer. If they are killed by Dew, they will die without discarding their pets. In short, Dew is a real Swiss knife, it has a whole set of skills, but it still managed to freeze it if there will be some other plant on it. That's the only thing I've been able to do with it. I haven't filmed this encounter with a mage and a Nocto zombie, but they say you can't turn it into a ship either. Anyway, I'll leave it for other videos, and in conclusion I'll test our main character on the traps from Lost City. If it won't be killed by a stone ball and not burned by fire from trap, then it will be beyond. Well, out of bound it is. I don't know what's behind the developer's decision to give this plant immortality, but let it be. I feel there's a whole bunch of PvZ Madness to be found with it, and this is the end of my review. I will only say my opinion about this plant. I think that immortality is immortality, but half of the skills should be taken away from it. The same immunity to freeze, to the fisherman, parrots, curses. Let it just be invisible to Gog and other veteran rams, still acceptable then, but now it's just a Terminator. I'd give Sundew Tangler a 5 or so, just for the fact that it has the potential for PvZ Madness, but I don't really like it of itself just because of how unreasonably strong it is. It's a very inconsistent plant. That sums it up. If you liked my review, give it a like, subscribe to the channel and see you in the next video. Bye!